Hey everyone, I'm Nina Zeta with Sidewalker Daily, and today I want to talk about how to pitch to brands, whether you're pitching UGC, your content creation, or you're pitching your influence in 2023. Now, here's the good news. We're in a totally different place with influencer marketing altogether. This industry started about at $1.7 billion in 2016, and they're projecting by 2028 to be like an $80 billion industry. That is insane. That's where the influencer and creator industry is growing, and that's how big it is. So pitching in 2023, it's different than, in the beginning when brands didn't even know what influencer marketing was or UGC or content creation, right? Like now I feel like we're finally getting to a place where brands are finally starting to understand that this is now part of their marketing mixes, part of their ad spend. Like they have influencer marketing, part of that. Most brands, we're seeing a big rise in that. Now, the reason I clumped UGC creators and content creators and influencers is because there are influencers out there that are pitching content, and there are UGC creators that, maybe have 2,000-3,000 followers and they're pitching influence too. So the tips I'm going to be sharing, take it with a grain of salt in terms of the title versus influencer or creator. Just try to kind of get yourself into the headspace of understanding these tips can be used for both. In terms of just, really beginning overall definitions, when I say influencer, I mean someone who is saying, hey brand, I have an audience of people that come to me, they like me, they trust me, they do the things that I kind of recommend that they should do because of my trust with them, because I been engaging with them for years. You're basically saying that's what an influencer is saying. It's almost like they're media, they're like a magazine, they're like, I have viewership. Whereas a content creator is saying, hey brand, don't worry about my followers, don't worry about my numbers. I create really good content. I can create really good content for you. You can run ads to it. You can post it on your social. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm not going to post it on mine. And then of course there's the hybrid, right? When influencers create content and then they post it also on theirs, or UGC creators are creating content for brands to post. There's so many different combinations. So I just wanted to start by saying that, you don't have to pitch one or the other, but it is helpful when you are pitching to brands to always lead with value. Whether you're leading in the influence foot or the content creation foot, lead with value. So you really want to be able to show how your content helps them. If you really simplify brands, okay, they're there to sell stuff, whether it's services or products. That's their business. They're selling stuff, right? And you, as the creator or influencer that's going to be pitching to them, if you really want to get the job, right, you also have to help them reach their goals. Now, I'm not expecting the influencers to, be salespeople and start selling on behalf of every brand that they work with. No, that's not always the case. But when I say be valuable, it's think about what type of content when you are pitching to brands would be valuable to them, would help them. So this starts by being able just to articulate that what is, what type of content does well. That's why with a lot of UGC creators and a lot of content creators, when they're pitching, they don't have to stress about followers because they're saying, look, I know it does really well. I'm able to create this type of content that you want. Maybe it's stop motion or it's like a really great transition between short form or whatever. I know how to create like viral content or content that does well and is really engaging. So you want to be able to lead with that. Now, this is why it is so important if you are pitching, when you are pitching, is to put yourself in the brand's position. Would you hire a wedding photographer without seeing sample photos of past weddings they've shot? Would you hire a photographer blind and be like, yeah, sure, come here's $1,500, $2,000, shoot my family photos or whatever? No idea what their work is? No, right? Now, for example, if I think about this, if I was to go to a photographer and want to hire them to shoot my family photos, I don't care if the portfolio is photos of their own kids or cousins or fake, or it's a mock setup that they put together. Do what you got to do, but you need to be able to show your work. So one of our biggest tips when it comes to pitching to brands, specifically for those who are pitching content, and even influencers, they're still pitching content, right, is to have a portfolio of your work outside of the social media platforms. Instagram is not your portfolio. TikTok is not your portfolio. Yes, it is easy to go on your TikTok and scroll and be like, oh, this is the type of content this person creates, or go on your Instagram and scroll. But it's hard to navigate. If you're pitching a brand an unboxing, show them how you would do unboxings. If you're pitching a brand a product testimonial, show them how do you talk about a product, right? And a lot of times for creators, I tell them do mock ones, do fake ones. And fake being, do something that's valuable to your audience that your audience would enjoy, but it also serves as a piece of content that you can use to show brands, hey, this is what I can do for you, just as an FYI. We want to be able to always lead with proof of what it is that the brand can also expect. Another big thing, or another big tip when you're pitching to brands, whether it be influencer or content creation, this is a little bit of a mindset thing, but you have to really value yourself. You have to stop thinking that the brand is doing you a favor by hiring you. That is not the right headspace. It's not that headspace of, oh my God, please, please, please pick me, pick me. It's no, wait a second. I create really killer content, or I have an audience that I know loves what I recommend XYZ. This should be a win-win partnership, not when the brand's here and you're here, or you're here and the brand's here. We want it to feel win-win. And that totally starts with mindset shift. I just got off a really inspiring call today with my creator community. And one of the big things we were talking about was mindset, just acting professional, valuing yourself, being able to also stand up for yourself in your pitches, and just like kind of knowing your worth, treating yourself like a business. I think once you say to yourself, wait a second, this is a business. I'm pitching to these brands not for fun, not for funsies, but because I want to work with them, because this is my work and they're a client. Then you start getting into the headspace about, okay, well, what do I got to do to treat myself as a business, right? I'm not talking about setting up an LLC or business formation. I'm talking about how you present yourself to brands when you pitch to them, right? One of the biggest things is I work on the brand side, and I've always said I love working with creators who feel safe and who feel trustworthy and professional. If you send me a sloppy media kit, I don't feel safe with you. If you send me a sloppy pitch that does not feel well thought out or value-based, I don't think you're serious, right? I am willing to pay premium for creators, and I know my clients will pay premium for creators that they know do this, will get the job done, and it doesn't feel like unsafe is really the word. It doesn't feel unsafe. So as a creator, when you are pitching, make sure you have those pitching materials, the branding for yourself, the way you speak, the way you put your pitches together, things like punctuation and grammar, and making sure, you're not hi emoji. Brands know when you're sending a template. You know when a brand is sending you a template, right? So, and you don't take those brands seriously either. You're like, they're not the one. It's that same little mindset shifts that you are going to need to help you get the job. One of the things we talk about here at Sidewalker Daily is the media kit. We always say the media kit is basically like your visual resume. It's what you hand in to get the job, to get the work. So when you are pitching, you need a resume, right? If you were applying to a job, you would have to submit a resume. Well, if you're a creator that's trying to get work, content work, or influence work, you need that media kit. Now, if you're interested in this topic and you want to dive deeper with me, I have a free training. I host them every month. Check out the link below. They are live. It's not pre-recorded. It's me coming on and talking with y'all. So definitely click the link. It's an amazing training. And I dive really deep, and I read pitches out loud, and I show media kits and all that stuff. So check the link to learn more. Now, I briefly touched on this, but I just really want you guys to make sure that your pitches are value-based and individualized, okay? When I say individualized, I mean personalized in some sort of capacity. The whole pitch doesn't have to be rewritten from scratch every single time. You can have the bones there, but you want to have certain areas that, you swap out, that you make interesting, that you make feel personalized, right? And that's why this is an important tip that I just wanted to repeat to make sure that you write that down. Don't send templates, send value-based pitches, and send individualized, personalized pitches. Those are the ones that you're going to see the best success in. A big tip for pitching this year, whether you're, again, UGC, content creator, or influencer, we talked about professionalism. But one thing I also want to stress is that if you're treating the brand as a client, I want you guys to treat them professionally, but also warm and in client services, right? This is the space where you have to kind of put yourself, you're now also selling too. Business doesn't just fall on your lap, right? Like, I know creators have this thing that they're like, I don't want to sell. Selling doesn't have to feel salesy. It can actually feel really, really good when you feel like you're actually bringing value to the brands that you work with, right? But part of the sale, part of the job is, being friendly, being warm, being approachable, taking the time to get that client or brand on a call so you can ask smart questions, have that airtime with a brand. Like for me, a pitch in an email is going to be, at the very bottom versus an in-person pitch or a Zoom pitch where I'm able to kind of shine and smile and thank the brand for taking the time to hop on a call with me and, ask smart questions and show up with ideas. It really, again, sets character and it sets that professional vibe that you're looking for in this coming year. A big tip for pitching content or influence is stay away from including your rates in a cold pitch. It is super unasked for and it's a little aggressive and it's not the right parlay. It's not the right way to dance, right? We are a company here at Sidewalker. We work with thousands of creators and we get them paid brand deals. Like, this is what we do. And I think the reason the creators in our program are able to kill it is because they are no longer hanging out for the $200, $300, $400 posts. They're putting together proposals, they're putting together packages, and this just can't be done in a rate sheet. So if you are pitching this year and you are reaching out to brands, don't send that rate sheet prematurely. Find out what it is that they need first so that you can put together that proposal with different packages to share with them. Now, sometimes people will say, well, Nina, what if the brand hits me up or reaches out to me and they ask me for a rate sheet? Sure, I'd love to send you my rate sheet, but before I do, I'd love to ask a few questions about what you guys are looking for and what you need. And do you have time to get on a quick call and discuss some ideas that I have? Maybe you find out that they actually have this goal and you can upsell them a bigger package, right? But if you just set your rate sheet for one reel, you're only going to get one reel versus, again, taking that ownership, taking that vibe of, going a little bit above and beyond. A major tip for all the creators in my program that I always share when it comes to pitching, this is whether you're pitching content or influence, is please do not take no's personally. Please, please, please. That is so 2022. I know it is scary. I know it is scary to hit send on a pitch. I know you think it's probably the only time you can ever pitch a dream brand is once. False. You can pitch your dream brand multiple times. You can pitch them a variety of different ideas, at different points in the year. Don't put that pressure on yourself. But remember, pitching is a numbers game. If you pitch 3 brands and no one writes back, that's because you pitched 3 brands. I need you pitching way more than that. And sending out quality pitches, personalized pitches to the right contact, attaching, or sending through a very visual, beautiful portfolio or media kit, right? There's parts of this that will make that pitch obviously work. Now, if you are ready to hit go on pitching, that this is where you want to be, then you definitely may want to check out our Pitching to Brands Master Course. It is a 20-hour program, A to Z, all things, the formula, how to put it together, how to price yourself, how to find the contacts, right? What to put in that email. We have over 80 pitch examples to share with you. How to put that media kit together. It's really, really in-depth. It's really, really long, zero keeping, zero fluff, and 100% useful. So if you're interested in that, you can just cut straight to the chase, enroll in our program, and you can get started if you know that pitching is for you. A major tip that I think creators need to lean into is this idea of upsell and downsell. Now, I know it sounds like a little like marketing and like selly. I will explain. If a brand comes through the door and you're pitching and you're reaching out and you're getting on these calls, find out what else can you add on to take them from, again, a $1,000 package to a $5,000 one. What can we add on to sweeten the pot? Or if their price is too high, if your price is too high and they don't have that, what can you downsell them? Okay, well, maybe you can't do this package, but maybe you could do a set of stories, or we could do a live for an hour, or whatever you want to downsell them. As a creator who's pitching, I want you guys to think about this, have this in the back pocket. If your rate is too high for them, what are some deliverables you can lessen, or what's another thing you can offer them? Like, okay, well, if you can't afford this, what is your budget? Well, how does this sound? And offer them a second option. You are in sales, my friend. Pitching is also part of it is selling, work and getting your work paid for. So you have to be able to kind of think about, like, strategically, what are some add-ons that you can add on, and what are some downsells or things that you can sell them down that's a cheaper price point to get them, on the line. And a major tip, my friends, is everything you write can and will be held against you. We live in a world where everything is like green screen, cancel culture, all the things. But remember, you don't ever want to send a pitch out that could hurt you, if a brand posted on social that ever feels entitled. That's why we lean so much into this value-based pitching. But the tip here is know whatever you write is public. It can be public. It can be sent to hundreds of people on the team. It can be sent to the CEO. It could be forwarded along. It could be made public. It could be put on the company newsletter. I'm not saying that it will, but I want to share that. It's important to know that because it will help you in your thought process of what you put in, how you write your pitches so that you're proud of them, so that you feel good about them. All right, guys, I hope this helped you. Whether you're pitching content or influence, I hope these strategies will help you take it to the next level. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel, of course, if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.